hearings. You understand what I'm saying? So you can get inputs and all of that. And in any case, the argument about state police is like, for me, is like a double-edged sword. It can go either way. It can be properly used, it can be misused, like anything in
Just
life.
like the federal police.
Exactly, of course. In Lagos State here, although Lagos has always argued for it, but you will notice that past administrations have always had a great relationship with the police. If a governor is always in tune with if like there's a GOC there, for instance, if it's an army formation, he holds regular security meetings with them. If he's in touch with the police or a flag officer, if there's a navy and all of that, and they hold regular security meetings, there will be, there won't be a distrust. It doesn't matter whether they are of the same party. It happened in Lagos. They had a great relationship. So it's more a function of the man on ground being in charge. Being in charge in this case is understanding what power you have, using that power properly. And that power includes even your interpersonal skills and your leadership skills. Because you have a people and you know that you owe them a responsibility. I do not think that if the governor, as it were, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but if the governor had a great relationship and was one-on-one and was really working well with his commissioner, if there is an attack somewhere, I do not think that the commissioner, unless that commissioner is privy to something that we don't know about, but I would expect that commissioner to act promptly. It's like saying there's a crime in Oshodi, for instance. A governor says something is happening there, I say, no, I need to call Arasi before I can address that issue. Then something's fundamentally wrong.
But most
and state police cannot change it.
But most times that's what that happens. Because the truth is that even sometimes when you summon, even a DPO will tell you, at times they will not come. I'm telling you. And if you talk less the
then
commissioner
the problem
of police.
is systemic, it's not constitutional.
So
the problem,
no,
therefore,
because
is
it's centralized in the federal government. It's the constitution that kept it. Is only the federal. When you talk about even the exclusive list, you have this list, exclusive list, concurrent. So they are all there. You understand? You can see that a lot is, with this constitution, a lot is under the federal government. For example, even you talk about state creation and local government creation. You can see local government creation, even where some states created some local government, is being denied by the federal government. And when you say, but the constitution gave the right to the states to create local government. But at the same time, there's this lacuna between them. They will say they will need to confirm by the National Assembly, and it becomes a problem. So that's why this current constitution we have, for me, is not serving us, and that's why we are having issues.
My time to ask you a question. If you allow
me. Go ahead.
My question to you is this. There is a process for an out-and-out amendment. It must go to the state assemblies of the 36 states. And is it 2/3 or all of them?
2/3.
2/3 must agree or must assent to it. But there's also a simpler way. You pick an issue, ask your man at the Senate to send a bill to amend it. You understand what I'm saying? Which is easier. Why do you want to take the whole thing and change it and say it must be changed now? You're going to be dealing with resources. Remember the last one, what happened?
Yeah.
There will always be politics when it comes to things like this. Okay? If wholesale change would make a difference, we would not have needed the 63 Constitution after 60. If wholesale change could do it, 79 would not have been necessary. We would simply have dusted the last one. It may also be argued that there have been interruptions, military interventions and all of that. And so, but of course, when they do that, what they do is not a cancellation. What they do is a suspension of the Constitution so that they are not dealing in illegality. So the first thing they do is suspend the Constitution so that they are within law and they can operate. You understand what I'm saying? What is wrong with picking up what was suspended and then lifting the suspension and say, continue from where we were the last time? Now, perhaps because of evolutions, through time, through practices, through habits, through things that we have learned, because he agreed as well, there's no perfect constitution anyway. I mean, the people, the drafters themselves are not perfect, okay? So it can be argued that, okay, fine, it is not a perfect document. If we agree that there is no perfect document, if we agree that the people who are doing it are not perfect, what says that if you go and do a wholesale constitution again, that the people who are coming shortly afterwards will not feel the same way? Why must you change everything in the Constitution?
Because if you change it, you have given the people.
Which people?
Nigerians.
So the people that did the last were not Nigerians?
When I mean that is why the Constitution till today is faulty.
Who wrote the? Because the Cameroonians that designed
no, the issue is that Nigerians were not carried along.
I just told you about 79.
Yes, it was Nigeria was not carried along.
No, but you agree with me? We're both adults.
Decided to just pack whatever they have and give us an constitution.
Please, let's inform the public properly.
And since then, we have been
let's inform the public.
Let him finish so I can.
Okay. We have been using that constitution, which does not represent our interests. Sincerely, okay, today there are some institutions that are supposed to be independent. You have EFCC today, it's not independent. EFCC is actually working for the Federation, but you understand that the chairman of EFCC is being appointed by the president or thereabout. ICPC, the same thing. You talk about police, I mentioned police, INEC. So at times you discuss, even Auditor General supposed to be an institution on its own, and Attorney General supposed to be an institution of their own. You don't need to be reporting to the president. So that is why I'm saying the Constitution is a bit faulty. That is why we should amend this thing by making sure that all stakeholders that have stake in Nigeria, all, inclusive those in the National Assembly, inclusive, like you rightly said, it's not all of us. You have to, but you have to start from the masses, from the grassroots, with representation. So we'll get there.
I have bad news for you. I'll tell you what it is.
Bad news?
Before I tell you the bad news, let me just, I said the American Constitution has undergone 27 amendments. The Indian Constitution, which is just about barely out of 60 years old, has undergone 97 amendments. The same Constitution, they have not changed the Constitution. They have seen what is wrong and they have changed it. Now you're talking about, not being representative and all that. What do I have as a bad news for you? You and I will die off. The people who come after us were not a part of it, and they will say they were not carried along. They were not a part of that Constitution. Okay? There is never a time that everybody is going to be involved in the constitution making process. We're doing representational democracy.
Okay.
Where the group will elect a representative. Right. The representatives can change over time.
Can we just take a moment, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back to continue this conversation. But as we go, Okwalisa says, the Constitution isn't the problem, but the will to implement or abide by the provisions therein. We'll be back shortly, don't go away.
Stay connected to the world with the Channels TV app for mobile to get all the stories around the world available on Android, iOS, and Windows phones. Tap the expertise you trust. Touch the stories that touch you. Anytime, anywhere. Channels TV app for mobile. The news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. So, should the Constitution be amended now? Sadiq Zikwe says, there is no need for change or amendment of our Constitution because we have not even been using it. Bias Fair says, there is a mirage of of defects in this present constitution, hence is due for amendment. The two sides of a coin. So we're back. You were saying something earlier.
Well, I want